To another episode on the Subi Sanctuary here. It's a 2008 plus STI with something rather interesting under the hood. It was wrapped. Prior to being wrapped, someone had painted it, and for whatever reason, when they removed the wrap, it took most of the paint with it. Because it's gone down to metal in a lot of places, and this is like going to be really inconsistent. If you wrap or paint, you're going to see all that. Back and out of the booth after the flow coat. As you can see, it did pretty well. It's really decent finish. This was my first time trying a flow coat, so there was definitely a bit of a learning curve. The car is so slick when you're putting it on. I had a couple runs here and there, a little bit of a sag, but nothing that I can't wet sand and polish out. The Corvette swapped STI here, so I have gone around, as you can see, and I've de-nibbed any nibs. Then we've gone 1500, 2000, 3000 on the wet sanding, so we got a really nice slick surface here. I'm just gonna finish up on the roof. So what I'm gonna do first, see something like that, that. They're not everywhere, but this is a good concentration. So these are nibs. So first we're gonna flatten those out with 1000 and then work our way up in the grit, and she'll be ready for a polish. All right, we're back here with the LS swapped STI. Since the last time you've seen it, when it was wet sanded, now we have begun the polishing, and it is going horribly. How are we gonna fix this? Start from scratch. Shit. All right, so here we go. On the paint mishap Corvette swapped STI. So we have a few doors that are RFP, not ready for paint, but ready for primer. Trunk, very intricate, very difficult, a bit of a time consumer. Bumper coming along nicely. Everything kind of came off different. So when we had these in filler primer, a lot of them were laying in front of this bay door, so they got the UV a little different depending on which direction they were facing, which is funny now going through them, stripping them, and seeing how the solvents evaporated from some areas and how it didn't from some other areas. So another big assortment of loose pieces here that have been scraped down. With the cars, so we got 3 coats of base and 3 coats of clear on this. It is looking pretty good. Nibs here and there as expected, but nothing we can't handle. Definitely a lot happier with this finish than how it turned out previously, so this is good progress. So it's actually been a couple days since this was painted, so today we're gonna move it out and move it beside the booth so we can resume using the booth to further prime some more pieces and get them into paint too. Here we are with some RFP bits. This took a lot of work to get up to. This is not like prepping a normal car for paint. The objective in this is you have to remove every single trace of that primer that was under the paint. So it's not just like scuffing it up to be able to apply a base or a primer to, has to be absolutely removed. As for the underside of the hatch along with the doors, it never got the contaminated primer. This is absolutely fine to be left as is, but because we have to do the whole exterior, I want a clean line at the end of the seam sealer here. So I've gone along and taken all the edge and along with the top of it down to metal, and then sanded all this so that I can have a nice good cling with my new paint. Then with the doors out for primer, this fender is pretty close, and then this guy is in preparation for paint, so this is block sanding. So we'll cut out here and bring you back when we make a little more progress. Here we are a couple days later with the doors all painted, which is exciting. So today I'm gonna get them back on the car, and then I can move the last wave of stuff in for primer, which is exciting. I'm back with the prep stuff here. So all of this stuff still needs to get into epoxy primer, which is not bad. I can fit this in one shot in the booth there. And then we've got this stuff here, which is actually ready for paint. So that is exciting. All right, now I've got another good batch here into base coat. So everything went pretty good. And now I'm ready to clear. So here we are all cleared. Looking good, no runs, standard issue nibs here and there. Alright guys, today is moving day for the STI, so we've got the big items back on the body here, and it is ready to go back to the owner so he can now again resume his work on the car because it's not exactly finished. Originally this took 170 hours this time because how far everything had to go down, including the fiberglass stuff, which it's incredibly intricate. This was almost 300 hours. So this is not normal for just doing a color change, but because all the fiberglass had to go down to gel coat and the body just about all down to bare metal, or at least the previous paint, this was a mission. Here we are with the final piece to sand in preparation for paint. This is very exciting to me. This has been a lot of work and a lot of hours in kind of a short period of time. So we got the bumper done there, another pile over here, final skirt, and the spoiler. Here we are now with the pieces all in base. I'm just warming back up. Got a little cold last night, so I'm getting ready to clear coat them. With everything in clear, so we got 3 good coats on this. Everything's looking good. Spoiler's a little goofy, so it is a little orange peely, but nothing I can't get out. Fender's looking sweet. This was definitely a pretty tight paint session here, like as far as actual room, as you can see. And I've got to get, for the most part, 360 degrees all the way around each one of these parts to get all the edges and stuff like that. So it was very cramped, had to be very careful. We have now spent the last week almost going around the whole car, doing some fine detailing, getting out any of the nibs, and a quick cut and polish. So we are not quite done yet, but wow, does it look sweet already. So next step here, we're gonna go over with like a final polish on the panels. So we've now gone around the whole car with the final polish. We're just doing the final wipe, and it is looking super sweet. Keith has really brought me up to be now a somewhat confident polisher. Like, I absolutely hate doing this, and I think it's because I didn't know what I was doing. Working with a very experienced polisher like Keith, I have learned a lot, and like now feel like I at least understand polishing more. So what do you rate this job out of 20 out of 10? Yeah.